fishing. Welcome back to the bankside. Dead baiting on the river. I've literally just chucked the rod out just to let the trout defrost a little bit so I can get some oil into it. I'm on my own, fishing one rod, and we're going to be doing about half an hour in each peg and just peg hopping for about 2.5 to 3 hours, something like that. Fingers crossed we'll get something. I am in dire need of a haircut. Look at all them greys. Anyway, I want to just mention a few bits about river pike fishing. One thing that you have to understand is it's tough. Like, it's really tough, and it will beat you up and beat you up and beat you up. But eventually, that reward's going to come. Now, the way I see it is the best way to go about it is to learn the river, and to learn the river as quick as you can, especially if it's a new river. And the only way to learn it, of course, is to fish it. But that's probably going to mean a few blanks. But that's just how it is. Like, it's a lot of water. There's no boundaries, you know. And if they're not feeding, they're not feeding. It's as simple as that. You've got to get it at the right time, and you've got to find the fish. And the only way to learn that is to fish it. Casting out with a bare lead, your first cast. Get an idea of depth, get an idea of what's on the bottom. Now, a big battle with this particular river, and I mean a big battle, is crayfish. They are in the thousands. Which is why this video and the last video we are fishing popped up ledger, which we'll go through the rig shortly. So today, like I said, popped up ledger, which we'll have a look when I finish this brew. No drop arms today, you know, no backrest, we're just on alarms, and that's simply because I just want to keep as much line out of the water as I can, basically. That's all that's down to. I've got drop arms in my bag, which I'm currently sat on, but I don't think I'm going to use them today. Let's pull the rod in and we'll go through the ledger rig. So just super quick, because I want the rod in the water, not on the bank. Basically, we've got a big bore run ring, which is plastic, so if I get snagged and I pull for a break, that ring is going to snap, and all I'm going to do is drop the lead and get the rest of the rig back. 4 ounce lead, bit overkill because we're fishing slacks obviously, but I want that security of it not knocking out of position. And then that's just down to a Pike Pro, what are they called, anti-tangle booms I think, down to a Fox quick change swivel, and then the trace. And all we've done with the trace is super simple. You'll see I've actually brought the pop up through the bait this time, and that's secured in position with it's obviously hooked into the fish as well as bait floss. Super simple. There's a video on my channel of how to tie a trace and how to tie pop-up stems. So yeah, let's get cast back out. So along with that setup is the Sonic Extractor 5000 GS spool. GS just means gold spool, compared to Sonic Extractor 10 foot, 3¼ or 3.5, because I've got one of each and I don't know which one I brought, to a Fox Micron. Fantastic value for money, 20, 25 quid, something like that. I've had it in all weather and it's never let me down. And currently, if it'll focus, you can just see the line entering the water, centre screen, and we are fishing centre screen there. So we're just in the margins. So one thing that I do want to do is send as many people as I can to a video I watched the other day. It was so eye-opening. The video I'm talking about is a video by the Ginger Fisherman. I'm sure you've all heard of him. His channel's a million times bigger than mine, and if you watch that, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it and you will be so surprised of what goes on under the water, because there's pike around that bait the whole time, they just ain't picking it up. So another thing that I think needs talking about is, unlike other fish like perch, brooch, all that sort of stuff are feeding 99% of the day. Yeah, pike are not. Pike are feeding, they're filling up the stomachs, and then they ain't feeding until their stomach, what's in the stomach, has been digested. For a big pike, with the amount of food it's going to eat, that can take a week. Once that stomach's full, they're not moving, they're not looking for food. They're going to be laid up, which is why I do like to peg hop, because I do believe if I chuck a dead bait onto a pike that's already full, it's not going to turn its nose up at it. It's not looking for food, but it's not going to turn its nose up at it. So I'm going to reel in, I'm going to have a recast over there, because I know it's deep over there. Currently we're just in the margin, but as I'm reeling it in and I feel the lead, I'm just going to give it a twitch. And all we're going to do is just feel the line. It can bring a lot of fish in, can that? So out there is, I'm going to guess 7 to 8 feet. It's a deep hole. I'm just going to put it on the alarm. Because I'm not fishing a drop arm, we're going to loosen that clutch. Not too loose, because we don't want it to steam off. But we also don't want the rod getting pulled in. When we're walking the river and we're looking where to fish, what are we looking for in a peg? So my answer to that is we're always looking for cover, like reed beds, anything that's overhanging and sort of coming into the water. And what you can see now is where I fished when I first got in this peg. And now there's a hole over there which is slack water, and to my surprise it's about 7 or 8 foot deep. I was expecting maybe 3 or 4 feet. So why have we chosen this peg? Because there's no slack water, especially on that far bank, but due to the recent storm we've had, the trees come down, and down there and just off the tip of the tree, which is where I'm fishing, is slack. First of all, I did cast down there. It's about maybe 2 foot, 3 foot at the most. Just off the tip of the tree over there, it's back to 6 or 7 foot. I think a crayfish is on that. Just give it another twitch. I'm fairly confident a crayfish is on that. Hang on, we might be in. We are in. So it wasn't a crayfish, it was indeed a pike. Oh. It's not foul hooked. Well, she's definitely a fighter, or he. I am so out of breath. Are you ready now? No, she's not ready. Oh. She does not like seeing the net. Right. Pike on. No monster, I want to get her back. And away she goes. Now, I'm out of breath. That was one hell of a fight. And the unhooking were a pain because she unhooked herself in the net. And so much for the rubber mesh never tangles with trebles. I ended up having to cut the trebles out of the net. So I'm going to get re-rigged, re-sorted, sort myself out, have a brew, and then we're getting back. So I want to explain what just happened a little bit, because I picked the rod up thinking there were crayfish, and basically what I was watching is the rod tip just knocking. No noise from the alarm, no line off the reel. I'm sat right next to it. Yeah. So I picked the rod up, I felt the line, and I could feel the pulling. So instead of lifting it out, I did like a little, I'll call it a baby strike, and just a quick lift. Fish on. So this is why I'm going to revert back to that video by the ginger fisherman. In short, that pike was over that bait and it was just playing with it. Now, when I say playing with it, again, go watch that video by the ginger fisherman, Float Ledger Underwater, I think it's called, and then you'll understand what's just happened to me. Now, I have to admit, that fish that we just had, I'm just watching the rod tip because of what just happened. That fish that we just had, I could have netted a lot sooner, but I could not for the life of me extend my net handle. I've managed to do it now, but yeah, we got it in. She went back safe and sound, and that's what matters.